dear people, welcome to grad school. So, let's look at today's topic facts versus opinions. Some of the important things we have when we come to years. Okay, facts and opinions are two different things, and people don't know the relevance. So, let's look into it. And this is a very helpful session because facts and opinions, there might be something that will confuse you between facts and opinion. Okay. So facts versus opinion. First one is fact, and second one is opinion. Facts can be verified, opinions cannot be verified directly. That means, let's point it out with an example. Right here, I have about facts, making a column for opinion here as well. So, first one, let's say roses are red. This is a fact. You can go and verify this. You can go and check whether roses are red, whether this is right or wrong. You can verify it. I am saying this. Roses are elegant flowers, or roses are a symbol of elegance. That is not something you can go and verify. How can you go and verify whether roses are elegant or not? You can't, right? Let's look at another example. Cows are green. Of course, I know this is wrong. This is not truth. This is wrong. I know that. But the point is that you can go and verify whether this is right or wrong. So don't confuse facts is equal to truth because facts is not equal to truth. Facts can be truth or false statements also, but the only factor you need to consider it is can you verify or not. Now, when you come to the opinions are not like that. Opinion is something that is very personal. Like, let's say, I have a data on happiness index. Okay, there is a common fact or common group of data on happiness index, which are all facts that are all can be verified. Let's say there are three people. Let's say one is Akhil, that's me. Then next one is ALP sir, and third one would be Kavya. So me, ALP sir and Kavya, we would have three different opinions regarding this. Me being a narcissist might say that this is rubbish. Statistics is a cheap measure. I can say that, of course. That's my personal opinion. You cannot go and verify whether this is rubbish or not. I would say that statistics is a cheap measure. That's my opinion, right? ALP sir would be like, I can't comment on his opinion, but he would be like, wow, the happiness index is increasing and I am happy about it. He's a positive person as far as I know. So he might be happy. Kavya would be like, the contours are great. He would just comment. Those are great. I like it. Of the happiness index, the constraints or the parameters they took for consideration is really great. I like it. Kavya would be like, that's cool. So each of the person has a different opinion. And that cannot be verified. You cannot go into the data and then look at like whether this is a great parameter, whether this is rubbish, or whether a user is happy or not. You cannot verify, right? That's not based on facts, it's based on opinion. LPs are so this all things is something that you cannot verify. Now, let's say I would give you another example here. Okay, let's remove all of this. Okay, let me remove all. of this. Wait a second. Okay, now. Now, I'm giving a statement. Online classes provide better accessibility. See, this may look like a fact. You can all actually think that you can verify this. Better accessibility. But the problem is, you cannot actually verify it. It is based on a previous data and that is unknown to you. So, of course, you cannot verify this. This is not like a simple verify done or not. You can do that. So, this is an opinion. This is not a fact. So, let's look at the definition now. Facts can be verified, cannot be directly verified. Objective in nature, subjective in nature. Objective is mainly based on objective, based on the data, based on the scientific belief, based on data or science, based on belief or judgment. So when I say this, online processes provide better accessibility. For me, good an internet connection, of course, but for someone who's living in a tribal area or something, or living in the mountains, who has a very weak internet connection or who has no access to internet classes, how can you see that online classes provide better accessibility? Context that you take is really different. This is a subjective opinion. So this is really subjective. According to me, it would be one for one who is living in a tribal or a mountain area who does not have the availability of the internet. That is a different scenario, right? So you cannot say that. Uh, of course, this can be measured. So of course, this opinion cannot be tested and proved. This is testable for accuracy. When I said cows are green, you can test whether this is accurate or not. No, like opinion, debatable among individuals. I told you about the happiness index. I said statistics is a cheap measure. I hate indexes. LP sir was like, okay, I'm happy that this is all improving. Now, this 2 points are really debatable, and Kavya says the contours are great. All these three are debatable. We all can sit and debate for the whole day among this. So this is something that you cannot be verified. Describes what should be. Like I said, in the case of happiness, this happiness index only sees what happiness index is. What is the contours and what is the current happiness index. For me, it was a cheap measure. So I was evaluating what more should be there. What should be like, there would be deviations. My point was that, right? I said, this does not make sense. This is bullshit. I said that. So, evaluates what should be instead of what is. This is independent of personal bias. Let's say I'm saying that India has a 10% GDP rate this year. For me, also, it is 10%. For you, also, it is 10%. For Donald Trump, also, it is 10%. For Narendra Modi, also, it is 10%. Regardless of personal bias, the facts are same for everyone. But opinions that is influenced by personal bias. I and Narendra Modi would have an opinion that India is a great country. Might Donald Trump might not agree to that. So that is really different. And this can be used to draw inferences. This cannot be logically extended. Facts are used to draw inferences, and this cannot be logically extended. And this is often measurable and this is often interpreted. Now, why is facts and opinion important? Facts are same for everyone. It's subjective, of course. It's not subjective, it's objective, of course. Opinions are individual driven. So when you read a passage, you should be able to extract fact and opinion. Fact is something the author states in a passage as evidence or as basis. This would be the basis of the he's saying. Like, let's say I told you, like, like, I'm an author, I'm talking about obesity. So I'm talking about something like the people who died because of obesity as as a common cause. If I'm talking about that, the statistics, this is the basis I'm talking about. And then I'm giving an opinion that government should take measures. I'm actually getting involved here. The author is getting involved. The author is getting involved. The author is getting involved in opinion. So the thing is that opinions are very useful for inference based questions too. So if you don't know where the author stands, how are you going to make valid inferences? If you don't get your facts straight, how are you going to make valid inferences? How will you create the main idea? How do you know where the author is going? In the initial class, I told you three important things that you should consider while reading. First one is what you're reading, the piece of literature in front of you. Second one is how is the idea presented? Is he positive? Is he negative? Is he the so this how is directly dependent on opinion. And why is he writing this? What is he trying to prove? This is dependent on both facts and opinion. So if you can't segregate it properly and understand the flow of passage, that would be detrimental to your plot. So always try to find out what are facts and what are opinions, and then you can easily understand the flow of a topic. So for simple thing, fact is something that you can verify whether it's true or false, whether it's right or wrong. Opinions cannot be verified. Facts are uh, facts is subjective. It's objective in nature. It's same for everybody. So opinions are subjective in nature. Facts are the basis of talking. Like what is the author talking about would be based on the facts that he have. And what is his opinion would be his personal bias or personal judgment towards the topic in question. So from the next part when you're reading, you should always try to segregate between facts and opinions. That is a main agenda that when like when you that you should practice while you're reading, because in the opinion the author gets involved, you can see his standpoint. That is the basis of talking. So that is all about facts and opinions. I will see you in the next session. Bye bye, people.